State regime media known as Fox once again in full collapse mode as Donald Trump's approval continues to plummet as a result of his disastrous government shutdown, his ICE raids, his declaration of war against America. Let me show you how state regime media is handling this. Of course, they've got to distract, deflect, and just generally distort. So here you have Laura Ingraham bringing on Kid Rock. They're talking about the issues I know that matters to most American people. They say, why are these chicks running around campus with blue hair? What are these chicks with 5 nose rings? 5 nose rings. What the hell is Fox even talking about? Here, play this clip.
Speaking of music,
that's pretty easy. You know what's stupid? You know what's stupid is people who think they're cooler than Art Thou, that worry about their outfit every day, like some of these rock singers that live here in Nashville. I won't say any names, or these chicks running around in their campuses with blue hair and their 5 nose rings.
That's their boogeyman, someone with 5 nose rings and blue hair. And they have Kid Rock on as a guest. Like, do y'all realize how deranged that is? But perhaps even more deranged is Laura Ingraham saying that, pull up a chair, everybody. We're going to see Donald Trump stand up to Xi Jinping. Donald Trump's going to show what real power looks like. Do y'all realize how much Xi Jinping and China have outmaneuvered Donald Trump with ease by bankrupting America's farmers and soybean farmers and exerting pressure that way, and then making Donald Trump beg for TikTok instead of actually fight for our farmers when our Senate actually banned TikTok? So maybe this is why we have to bail out farmers, because Donald Trump's so smart, right, Laura Ingraham? That's why we have a bailout for farmers. Here, play this clip.
So until they experience what it's like when our market is closed and their factories are shut down one by one, they're not going to be ready to start adopting true market reforms, and they're not going to really work with us. They'll work against us, though. So good for President Trump for announcing 100% tariffs today in response to Xi's stupid move. Pull up a chair, grab the popcorn. But don't worry. The next few weeks are going to be very interesting to watch, and you're going to be watching Trump school Xi and protect America as no other president could.
So stupid. Anyway, then you have the next guest show up who starts talking about, Donald Trump not winning the Nobel Peace Prize is like, it's like a heavyweight champion. It's like something to do with Mike Tyson. What are these people talking about? There are real issues to deal with. Americans are losing their health care. Americans are going bankrupt. The worst housing market since 1995. The stock market crashed on Friday. Things are getting very, very serious for most Americans. But you want to talk about Trump getting a Nobel Peace Prize while he declares war inside America? Pathetic. Here, play this clip.
President Trump not getting the Nobel Peace Prize today is like winning the heavyweight championship and knocking out Mike Tyson. It's the equivalent, honestly, of, just consistently, well, these Democrats just want to come at Donald Trump about everything. And the only time Democrats have achieved peace is when they took Jimmy Kimmel off air for 7 days. President Trump has achieved what President Obama couldn't do, what President Biden and his memory lapse couldn't do, what President Bush can't do, which is he's achieved 8 peace deals in 9 months, whether that be India and Pakistan, whether that be Rwanda and Congo, and now peace in the Middle East. And all the Nobel Peace Prize has to do is just give him the applause and recognition that he deserves. If you remember, President Obama got it just 9 months into office. So their excuses just fall flat today, don't they, Jesse?
They do.
Then Jesse Waters talks about Melania gave a great press conference where she said that she was doing back channel communications with Putin and that 8 Ukrainian children will be home for Christmas. Actually, what she said, Jesse Waters, is that she was going to be returning as well. She said children that Ukraine took from Russia, and she basically gave Russia a pass, both sides did, and gave massive cover to Vladimir Putin when we should be placing sanctions on Putin. Anyway, here, play this clip.
8 Ukrainian boys and girls are going to be home for Christmas, and we know how much Melania loves Christmas.
Back to Laura Ingraham, and she goes, Trump and his team didn't build this MAGA movement to tap out to Xi Jinping. They've already tapped out to Xi Jinping. They are begging on their knees like dogs. Donald Trump is begging on his knees like a dog. Isn't that what Donald Trump says? For Xi Jinping to allow him to have a subsidiary of TikTok so Trump could give his right-wing billionaire oligarch buds the algorithm to make it called MAGATok, which nobody will like at all. TikTok with a MAGA algorithm instead of actually helping our farmers and actually helping Americans. Well, he's bailing out Argentina. So maybe that's the MAGA movement, Laura. Maybe the MAGA movement's that you give $20 billion to Argentina instead of helping 20 million Americans save their health care. Play this clip.
So over the next few weeks, we're going to hear a lot of people panicking, and they're going to be urging Trump to cave to Xi and just get along. This would be a mistake. We can develop our own rare earths, and we can be more creative on our own supply chains, and we can force Xi to stand down. Xi's lobbyists in Washington, they don't deserve their fat paychecks this month. President Trump and his team didn't build the MAGA movement over 10 years just to turn over our freedom and our sovereignty to a dictator in Beijing.
Back to Laura Ingraham here talking about Xi Jinping. Play this clip.
Xi clearly believes he has a superior leverage here because of China's rare earths and magnets, and that we're too weak, that we're too stupid, and I guess the country's too addled to come up with our own solutions. Xi thinks Trump's bluffing on all this, that he's not negotiating because he thinks the entire populist movement is a joke. But Xi is badly mistaken here, and he underestimates MAGA. Unlike Bush or Clinton or Obama or Biden, Donald Trump has the guts and the understanding to stand up to the CCP.
Then you know they get desperate when they bring in this weirdo guy, Arroyo. He's like one of the weirdest dudes on Fox. I don't get this guy. They bring him on and he's like, listen, actors, just do your job and stop telling us things. We just want you, just do your job. Dude, you had Kid Rock on before talking about chicks with blue hair, whatever the hell he was talking about. Fox is literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'll try to make it sound smart. It's like the dumbest stuff ever. Who watches this crap? Here, play this clip.
I mean, look, it's time for Marty Scorsese to de-age him. I think the world's crying out for Irishman 2. That would be a better use of his time. You know what it should be? Not no kings. It should be no politics for aged actors. We don't need to see any more politics. Just do your job and entertain us. Just do that.
I mean, listening to, Mel Gibson talk around the edges about politics is kind of interesting. He's super smart, but he doesn't try to inject himself into daily political life. But De Niro's just so angry.
Well,
he's so angry. He's so angry all the time. I don't know if you can de-age the brain with the new computer programs that run the film through. I'm not sure the brain changes. That's the problem.
I'm not opposed to people who are in the arts speaking out about issues, poverty and climate change or whatever interests them, or if your house burns down. My problem is partisan politics that they don't know anything about. And it just estranges the audience and makes a mess of things. I don't know why they keep doing it.
He's kind of around the bend at this point.
And then speaking of who watches this clap, the most bizarre cult in the history of the world, they say, look, Donald Trump is in a flow state. He's in a flow state right now. Here, play this clip.
How does he do this? How does he keep his stamina up?
Well, he's in a flow state. I mean, obviously, his sense of humor, which is one of the hallmarks of intelligence and cognition, is really intact. A lot of people don't agree with it. I happen to think he's very funny, but his sense of humor is intact. I mean, he switches subjects. Have you actually ever seen him sit down for like a 3-hour interview, unscripted interview, like the Joe Rogan podcast? You see how cognizant and aware and present he is.
Then they bring on authoritarian MAGA governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, who runs the biggest taker state, the biggest leech state in the country. They take $75 billion from the government, more than they give to the federal government, unlike California, which gives $85 billion to the federal government more than it takes from the federal government. The guy doesn't have an electric grid that functions, Greg Abbott. And there are still dead children missing from the Guadalupe flash floods that Texas refused to install emergency measures because it was too woke And they wouldn't take Biden's money to install the emergency measures, but they took the money and basically stole it for themselves to give themselves bonuses. Because it was too woke. Emergency systems are too woke. But Texas, happy. And by the way, there's still dead children missing in Texas. I know they want to just cover that up and just be like, that's just life, dead children. I mean, horrible, horrible stuff that could have been avoided. And people don't talk about that anymore. We still talk about it here. But anyway, here you have Greg Abbott. His message to J.B. Pritzker is stop complaining and do some push-ups. And look, we should not be mocking, of all people, Greg Abbott should not be mocking physical appearances or the way people's, it's just, really, Greg? That's what you do? Here, play this clip.
And he's talking about hot dog food and the Milwaukee Brewers. No wonder he's a massive failure. No wonder. Did you see what Pete Hegseth said? He said that Pritzker needs to stop complaining and do some push-ups.
You can always count on the Secretary of War to nail this right on the top of with the hammer. He's always, he knows how to tell the truth.
Okay. Now, Greg Abbott talks about deploying the Texas National Guard to Illinois. I mean, just how one state sending their National Guard to invade another state. Like, quite literally, if you look at it definitionally, that kind of sounds Civil War-ish, like you're invading another state, red states invading blue states that are just trying to exist and are actually contributing far more to the federal government and to our country than these red states are, which are often leech states and taker states. Here, play this clip.
This position that you hold is one shared by President Trump. Apparently isn't one shared with all of the governors across America. The headline in the New York Times today reads, Texas blue state deployments shred relations between governors. What do you say to those other governors and why you have aided the Trump administration in using Texas National Guard?
I just urge the governors very simply, go read the law. Because what the law provides is what's called Title 10 that authorizes the president to call up National Guard in order to help the executive branch execute and enforce the immigration laws of the United States. They're actually in violation of that federal law. What Texas has done is authorizing the president to call up National Guard as he is authorized under Title 10 to deploy them in situations like this. This isn't Texas deploying the Texas National Guard in Illinois. It's the president using his lawful authority to call up the National Guard and to deploy them where needed in order for federal officials to enforce the laws of the United States.
And finally, you've got Kid Rock, more Kid Rock, right? As they lecture us about Robert De Niro should not be saying anything about politics, just entertain me. They have Kid Rock, like a lousy singer, weirdo MAGA dude who, do you see California Governor Gavin Newsom post, lock him up. We're locking him up. Just mocking Donald Trump. Not really locking Kid Rock up. He's too pathetic for that. Anyway, they bring Kid Rock back on here. Play this clip.
It seems these other people, the more that we say we love our families, we love God, we love our country, these people on the far left hate it more. I just don't understand the rationale of hatred for someone that loves something.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.